Over the weekend there were two separate articles that absolutely baffled, one of which we're going to cover tomorrow, because I don't want to make a video on two topics today because I'm really tired. So today we're going to cover why it is some schools are trying to implement a system that would in effect break the law. I know a number of you are now thinking, but what are the schools doing, Omegon? Well, I'll tell you what they're doing. Courtesy of this article from the Daily Mail, because I can't be jaffed to go through a paywall to the actual article in Australia, the Art of Sexting program has been proposed for schoolgirls as young as 12, despite many parents warning against the practice. I wonder why. Could it be because it would inevitably lead to people grooming? Because that's exactly what would happen? No, it can't be that. That must be trivial. Surely. Nobody would take advantage of a young, impressionable person with a program that will help them to understand how to send nudes safely at the age of 12. Lessons on how to safely send sexy snaps for 12-year-olds via text message and social media have been recommended by an online education tool created by an advocacy group. Is this group related to Sweden somehow? Because I vaguely recall a political party in Sweden wanting to legalize paedophilia or something to that effect. Because of course what most developed nations need is advocating for the sexual desires of those that like people who are underage. Victoria's Gen Z are told to crop out anything identifiable, not sexed under the influence, know the legal landscape and avoid sharing other people's risque photos. I have a better idea. How about you don't teach children to be such narcissists that they feel the need to self-validate and get someone's approval by sending erotic pictures of themselves when they are not legally of age in the first place, so essentially they are a pre-teen thought. I think you all know what I mean. Most people I know that take selfies, and they are few and far between where I live, take pictures of themselves in bathrooms staring at their phones taking a photo, which befuddles me. I don't understand it. I mean, you have to be a supreme narcissist to actually be looking at your phone taking a picture of yourself. That's just ridiculous. Maybe I just have a different view on how photos should be used. I mean, you get to look back on these when you're older and say, yeah, that's me, with most of my face behind the phone. Whereas if I go through my photo history, you'll just see meetups with friends, cars, drones, and derpy videos of dogs doing really silly things. But that's because I'm not interested in sexting. Definitely not interested in sexting with those that are underage. But as I'm not interested in sexting to begin with, that was already known. Rosie, a national harm prevention initiative by the Dugdale Trust for Women and Girls, has created the program that contains video, text, and lesson plans for teachers. There's only one lesson. Don't sext if you're not of age. How about that? If you're legally allowed to, and there are some countries that it is illegal to do so in unless you are over the age of 18, then do whatever you want. You are free to do it because it is at that point almost an adult decision to send erotic pictures of yourself to someone else. Rosie helps young women navigate tricky situations, and its community partner is the US Department of State. The program advises before you send that sexy snap, think about how long you want that pic or video out there for. Once we send these things, we have little control over where they end up. Pornhub, that's where some of this stuff ends up. Some will argue it is revenge sex, porn stuff, and it possibly is. And if the image is sent over the internet, you can guarantee it will never disappear. So that is a permanent stain on you, your name, your reputation. I'm not victim blaming. I know someone's going to say that. I'm not. Because you are the narcissist who took the picture. There is no victim blaming in this. If you still want to send a pic, try to crop out anything that makes it obvious that it's you, so just send a body pic, or do what I mentioned with those that take pictures of themselves looking at their phones, because they keep their phones elevated so high that most of their face is obscured in the first place. And that's only because phones are fucking huge these days. Can we all just go back to 3310s, please? I had an interchangeable Budweiser case, it was awesome. The initiative has not been endorsed by the Department of Education and has been slammed by Education Minister James Merlino, and rightly so. These, the sexting tips, are not appropriate. Agreed. The Department of Education has a clear policy and resources on sexting that are available for teachers, students, and parents. Opposition education spokesman Tim Smith said he was appalled, saying kids should spend less time on these types of sordid distractions and be taught to read and write. I would take it further and say this kind of narcissism being taught to someone so young will only lead to them becoming more and more self-absorbed, to the point where they themselves will not be able to progress far because they'll be obsessed and possibly addicted, because apparently that's a thing, to taking selfies of oneself. Susan McLean, former Victoria Police cyber cop, described the information on the site as flaky and stated there was no safe way to send a naked image as the risk remained the same. The program also gives advice about consent pressure, the associated risks, and speaking with authorities about unwanted sexting. Schoolgirls are being warned. If someone's guilt-tripping you into sending a sexy snap or making you feel like you have to prove that you like them, ask yourself, is this person treating me with respect? And if they were to send a sexy snap, how likely are they to keep it private a week, month, or even a year from now? When I was on the Ghost Poo on Friday on Sinatra's channel, we got into the subject briefly about people who do know each other online, and then they start to show interest in one another, one going further than the other, which then led to the discussion about thoughts, because they are quite a common practice on the internet where they'd want all the attention, because you are their pay pig after all, but they'll give you virtually nothing in return. So it all comes down to how you perceive respect, but also whether you yourself are trying to use them or not, or whether you think you're going to impress them and that will get a response in a positive, because some people do have that kind of thought process, which doesn't seem very respectful of oneself at all. Research shows boys are 4 times more likely to pressure girls to send sexts, which I think then is even more of a reason not to have a program like this in place, if the research is at all accurate, and I will leave a link to the research in the description. The lesson plans for teachers include activities such as thought bubbles, planning for a hashtag campaign, and opening discussions in a safe environment. But do they have a ball pit? The Victorian government has recently partnered with Microsoft to give all Victorian government school students and staff access to a broad range of software, including Minecraft Education Edition. If there's a mod for people to send sexts through Minecraft, oh dear God, can you imagine the oppression points we will be begging for? Oh dear. An unwanted Minecraft dick pic. Mr. Merlino endorses this type of program, stating this is about giving our schools and students access to the best digital technology and programs to prepare them for the jobs of the future. We know our kids will need skills in science and in technology, as well as critical thinking, and programs like this give them the opportunity to develop in these areas. So obviously then this is not the same program that was encouraging sexting for people as young as 12 years old. Which leads on to this rather helpful little thing at the bottom. What is sexting, and is it legal? Sexting is any kind of provocative message sent from someone's phone or computer. It can be a pic, a recorded message, or a video. The subject can be pictured naked or sexually explicit. Sexting is legal in Australia if it is between 2 consenting adults. Sexting is considered illegal and child pornography if you're under the age of 18 or receive a sext from someone under the age of 18. Sexting is illegal if it happens without consent. Nude videos or pictures taken without a person's knowledge are also illegal. Sexting is illegal if you harass or constantly pressure someone to send you a nude picture or video. If someone sends a sensitive photo or video of you without your consent, it is a form of cyberbullying, and there's actions you can take to secure your rights. In this country we have that whole revenge porn law thing, so I think that would fall into the bracket of that in my country. And just to confirm, there is legislation in my country on sexting, and in Canada and in America. I will leave links to all of that in the description. Now, to summarise my thoughts on this, the very fact a child has that capability to be able to do such a thing means you're either setting people up to be arrested knowingly, or you're potentially trying to teach them to be more conservative with their values with regards to sending certain types of pictures to other people. Unfortunately, with how this is being portrayed, and rightly so, just to be clear here, this is abhorrent. We should not be teaching children to be so self-obsessed. It is unhealthy. We know this because we see people now who just take pictures of themselves all the time. I walked past somebody 2 days ago who just pulled their phone out and took a picture of themselves and then carried on walking. I don't get it. I'm not woken up, clearly. Anyway, I hope everyone has a lovely Sunday, and thank you all for listening.
Oh, goddowns.
Imagine my shock